Greetings. We are pleased to be here in this time and place, and we are wanting to offer all of you a connection that you can experience together in this room and on this planet. And what we would like to do first is to have you all just be able to access the part of you that has been wronged, access the part of you that has been afraid, access the part of you that has been cut off from all of your desires. In other words, what we want you to do is to be able to access that part of you and put it all into a ball in front of you. Think of all the things that you have been afraid of or have doubts about, or what you are choosing to create, and put that into a ball. What you are frustrated with. Put it into a ball in front of you. And notice this ball and see what the color is. What is the color of this ball? Think of things that you have been missing, perhaps. Think of things that you are not sure about yet, about what path to go on. All of those unknowns, put it into the ball. And look at this ball in front of you and decide to play bowling balls with it. In other words, take this ball and roll it down the alley of the unknown. And as you are rolling this ball down the alley, what you are doing is you are rolling it into the pins that are in front of you and knock it all down. Just imagine, if you will, rolling this ball. And as you're rolling it and knocking all the pins down, how does it feel when it leaves your body? How does it feel when you are saying, I'm letting all of that go for a moment? Just notice if it allows you to feel a little bit lighter. Any sickness that you might have in your body, any pain that you might have in your mind and your heart and your body. Just roll it down that alley into the unknown and let it just release from you now. Because we want to speak to the parts of you now that are pain-free, that are not limited, that are free to explore and to discover together. And do many of you have doubts and fears in the past? Have you experienced those before? Yes. And when you do experience those, what do you do with them? Do you hold on to them? Do you roll them out? Do you breathe it through? Think about that with your fears and your doubts that you might have about who you are and why you are here and what is your purpose. And we want to speak to the higher selves of all of you now. Go with us now to that place that all of you know, that is that assured place, that haven place. Go with us now. Raise your vibration to that level for just a moment. We are speaking to the higher selves of you. And rise above that physical body right now. You do this in your dream state, so you know how to do it. So just go ahead and raise your vibration up out of your body for just a moment. And can you feel all of you flying in this moment, flying together, creating a vortex together, flying, feeling lifted. And as you are swirling about with this energy of feeling lifted for just a moment, you can always bring back all of the other pain and fear and doubt and all those things back in your body when you choose to, or not. But for now, go ahead and just allow yourself to fly. And the parts of you that will hear this message, it will permeate through your consciousness. And you will hear it on many levels, on many dimensions. And as you're flying about, mix around with each other, doing a galactic dance with each other. See the heartstrings that you are pulling now. And as you pluck each other's heartstrings, you are making music. You are making harmony. When you pluck each other's heartstrings, you are creating a symphony. A symphony of knowing, a symphony of believing, a symphony of harmony, a symphony of creation. And it is much more fun to do it together, is it not? And as you are plucking each other's heartstrings, feel your own heart awakening. Because it is time. It is time, dear ones. You have all gathered here together. And as you are exploring and flying and discovering, we ask that the parts of you that you choose to have come back into your body come back, so that you can hear us on a third dimensional level. And as you're coming back into your bodies, you might as well bring in universal divine love with it, because that is who you really are. That is your purpose. That is your purpose, is to feel that. Your purpose is to experience. Your purpose is to be here. You have come here for a reason, have you not? Do you know what that reason is? It is to experience. You see, when you are physical, you can experience all things, light, dark, right, wrong, good, bad, the duality of human beings. You are living in a duality because, again, you have spirit within a physical body. And what is happening, whether you like it or not, there is a unity, there is a unification. And in order to unify and to create unity, you have to be able to embrace all of the things, the good, the bad, the right, the wrong, the shadow, the light. And as you are embracing all of those things and saying, what can I learn from this? What is a message that I can learn from all the things that I feel that is not what I want? You can ask yourself those things. Instead of bumping up against things that are obstacles, whether it be your health, whether it be your wealth, whether it be your relationships, whether it be your confusion about what path to go on next, whether it be about any of those things, it is all about you asking yourself, what am I here to experience? How can I shift what is happening now to something more of what I want? First of all, you have to love what is happening now. You know this, yes? And we understand that from a physical human perspective, it is hard sometimes to say, well, I choose to love this cancer, or I choose to love this pain, or I choose to love this person that is not what I want in my life. And what we want you to know is that when you love that part and say, I choose to love this in a moment in time, right now, so that I can embrace all that is and know that everything is perfect in divine order. And we know that many of you have said that to yourself. This is all divine. But while it is happening, sometimes it can be hard, yes? So what we would like for you to do is to quiet your mind, take out all of the distractions from your space, and make a decision right now. Make a decision right now to say, I choose to embrace all that is. I choose to embrace all that is, knowing that I am creating unity by doing so. Unity in what it is that you physically, emotionally, and spiritually choose to have and want right now. All is well, dear ones. All is well. All is well. And is there more here?
If anyone has a question for the masters, you can raise your hand.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming to us today. I have a question about my business path.
Yes.
I need to know, should I stay on my current Barker Business Solutions and LinkedIn training for my best path forward to serve me and everyone else? Or should I consider a different business opportunity to grow my, security and happiness and peace for more?
We are glad you asked that question because I'm sure you say to yourself these things saying, I am choosing a different path, or I am not sure about what I want to do, or I am choosing something that maybe there's something better or greater or more than. Do many of you ask yourself that? Yes. And so this is for all of you to know that when you ask yourself the question, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing something that will benefit me and others? Am I adding value in the world? Am I able to be all that I can be and still create what I choose to have in my life? When you say those things to yourself, what you're doing is you are asking yourself, do I matter? And if we boiled it all down to, do I matter? Then, of course, the answer is yes when you ask yourself that. And therefore, what makes your heart sing is the answer to that question. In other words, it is not about whether or not you should do this or that. In other words, it is one of, am I loving myself and do I matter? And no matter what I choose, no matter which direction, no matter where I go, no matter what business I have, no matter what relationship I have, I matter. And that is the most important thing, is that I matter. And know that the effect you have in the world will take effect no matter which business choice you make. And if it is all about adding value and creating wealth and creating more of what you want so that you can make a difference in the world, then it really does not matter, does it? Because the outcome is the same. Many of you get caught up in how. How do I make it happen? How do I choose this? What can I do? And what we are here to say is that if you say, it does not matter, I choose this for now. I choose this path for now because I know I will make a difference no matter what I do. And I will have an impact because of my intention, you see. The intention is the most important part. If you're intending to create something to add value, then the outcome will always be the same. It may look different to you. However, your purpose, again, is here to discover and to experience. And if you want to add value to others and to yourself, keep that as your intention. And if it makes your heart sing, continue to do it.
I do have a follow-up, please. Is it, what I really wanted to know, and I should have said so, is it okay, and following that what I just described, to niche down, to like do only one thing and be a star at it? Or should I take on lots of different things so I can help more people?
What is your intention?
Niche down. Oh.
What is your intention?
My intention is to niche down. Yes, thank you.
What makes your heart sing?
Niching down.
Indeed. You do not need us to tell you that.
Good morning.
Indeed.
Good morning. The
You have the right to speak, dear one. Someone has told you.
question
Someone has
is-
told you not to speak. Someone has told you
Correct.
not to use your voice, to be afraid of your power, to be afraid of your voice, to be afraid of your freedom in speaking out and being who you are. And we encourage you to shout it from the mountaintops of, here I am, and I deserve to speak. So go ahead.
Oh boy, that is very powerful. So, I was listening to all of the masters coming in, there is a thread of the purple thread of fear and pain that goes very, very deep. That is very similar to what you were saying about me not being able to speak. And when you had said play together, it's more fun to play together or alone, is it not? The fear just comes out of me like, no, I want to be alone. But that is not really true. But there is such a bubble of fear around me that is preventing me from allowing others in.
And why is that? Why have you created that around you? We know the answer. Do you?
I do not.
Yes, you do.
I do. I guess, okay, I've had so much trauma in my
Yes.
life. From the time I was in the womb,
Yes.
I found out recently when I was doing some rebirthing that my father was hitting my mother when I was in the womb.
Yes.
So I continued on that with all of the
Yes.
trauma, verbal, physical, sexual, emotional.
Of course. And of course, that will certainly create evidence for you in your life that it is not safe in this world. It is not safe to be seen. It is not safe to be heard. It is not safe to trust others. If I play with others, there is a possibility that I will be hurt. If I play with others and allow them to come into my heart, that I might feel pain. If I play with others, then the trauma will continue. Therefore, it is much more safe to be alone.
Yes.
And of course, that is not what you are wanting. Because no matter how hard you try, dear one, you cannot be alone. In other words, there are angelic realms, there are many beings that are with you at all times. So it is impossible for you to actually be alone. But when you bring that feeling of fear when it comes to other human beings being with you, then of course that keeps everyone at bay. That keeps you feeling that false sense of safety. If I do not allow others to come into my space, then I'll always be safe. And of course, that can be a lonely road. Yes?
Yes.
And so what we suggest you do at this point is to say, what if my heart knows who to allow into my space and that I am safe at all times because I am always protected from anything that can hurt me? What if you start to say to yourself, I choose a new evidence. I choose to find new evidence that there are people, human beings in this world that I can trust. I choose to allow them to come to me because I trust myself. And when you come from that perspective of, first of all, going within and saying to yourself, I know that I am safe. I know that I am protected. I know that it is time for me to find new evidence. Therefore, I will trust myself to allow in trustworthy beings into my life. I choose trustworthy beings into my life. And you can do this with baby steps. because you need to build a new story, dear one, build a new evidence. And of course, you may ask, well, why did this happen to me in the first place? Do any of you ask yourself that? Why did all the things happen to me that happened to me? If I am such a light being and I'm here to experience joy and love and freedom and connection, then why do all these other things happen? See, the universe conspires in your favor. If you look at everything that has happened to you with all the trauma and all the things that you have gone through, if you understand that you have a bit of control around that, in other words, you have co-created this for a reason. If you can take on that part of, why did I co-create this? How could I have co-created this as a young one? Well, we ask you, when do consciousness come? Does consciousness come when you are born? Before you're born? After you're born? At 21? At 2? When you become conscious. So if you understand that consciousness is always there, that you have co-created this for a reason, if you can embrace that part of you now and say, I embrace the trauma, I embrace what you might call the bad things in my life. I embrace all of that now because I am experiencing, and I choose to find new evidence that the opposite is true as well. Do you think you can do that?
I do. I think I do it. I have an amazing career and I help a lot of people and through their trauma, and I help a lot of people with their pain. So
Of course.
I'm quite sure that that's part of the reason why that's happened to me, or that is me, because I have such a giving heart and I do help a lot of people. That's my career, that's my calling. But yet,
There is no but there.
okay.
That is it.
That's it.
That
So
is
that's
it.
just me.
That
It
is
just
it, dear
all
one.
of me. Okay.
Yes, that is it, dear one. That is
so
the
just
answer.
embrace the whole thing.
That is the answer, you see,
Okay.
because you have a unique ability, as many of you do, when you have those things in your life and in your space and in your consciousness, you come from a unique perspective to how you can support others. And through that growth and through that knowing and that embracing of why you went through these things, now you can say, oh, now I know. Now I am able to reach out to other people and embrace them in a different light because I have a unique perspective. That is the reason, dear one. And because you are doing that, and because you are also supporting others in their trauma or in their growth, it is also necessary for you to understand boundaries. And this is for all of you. You may say to yourself, what I want to do is to support other people. And many of you allow the pain of others to come into your space. Many of you allow the trauma of others to come into your heart. And you can absorb them. And what we are saying is, perhaps what you want to do is to observe them, not absorb them. We have said this before. Observe what is happening. Have empathy for others. Be able to pluck the heartstrings from your own experience and know what it feels like. And yet do not absorb their pain or their fear or their trauma, because it can what many call trigger your own. And of course, that will keep you in that state of trigger, and that will keep you in the state of fear and not trusting.
So in other words, I am complete. I must
Indeed.
surround myself with the light. Thank you.
Indeed, and trust your own ability to find new evidence, because you are living your purpose, dear one.
Thank you.
There's more?
I've made some major, well, let's put it, I made an energy shift for career as well as my health. And I'd like to know, is there anything that I'm missing or not consciously getting in my own guidance, following my own higher self?
Do you trust your own guidance?
Well, sometimes.
And how can that be? How can you trust it sometimes? When do you decide to trust it sometimes?
I guess when either my head or my ego takes over and says, "Oh, this is a better path."
And how do you know the difference?
I don't always.
Many of you may have the same question, yes? When you feel it in your body, when you feel a body experience of saying to yourself, I trust myself, this is my guidance, this is my higher self telling me, and you feel the tingle in your gut. You've heard of a gut instinct, yes?
Yes.
This is what that means. When you feel it in your tummy, in your body, in your gut, that this is tingling there, trust that that is not your ego, not your mind taking over. It is something to follow at that moment. How many of you have not trusted your gut before and gone back and said, oh, I wish I had trusted that feeling, or I should have done this when I felt that? And that is what we can tell you is that if you feel it in your gut and you know it is tingling and you know this is the path for you to take, go ahead and take it. And what happens is the fear comes in, the what ifs. That is when the mind starts to wander. And when the mind starts to wander, what we suggest you do is ask yourself, I choose to be in wonder. I choose to be in wonder of this choice, not wander. If you can choose to wonder what this is and not wander, then you will get an alignment of answers there. In other words, trust your gut, move in that direction, and when the doubt comes in, just know you are wandering. Your brain is wandering for all the right answers at a guarantee. And what if we told you there is no safety net?
Oh, well, that answers a lot of things.
There is no safety net here. And when you find yourself wandering around looking for evidence in your brain and in your mind to say, I need a guarantee, I want a guarantee right now that this is it. When you start asking yourself that, just know you're wandering and choose it and shift it into, I wonder how this is going to be when I step forward with the decision that my gut is knowing, and do it anyway. Yes?
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, you are. There's more?
On a similar track, so with no safety net, how do I move forward and not fear all the collateral damage from the choices I'm making?
What we would say around this is, dear one, do you believe that other people are sentient beings?
Yes.
Do you believe that other people make their own choices?
Yes.
Do you believe that other people can be affected by you?
Yes.
Do you believe that they can affect you?
Yes.
And do you believe all these choices are co-created?
No, it's all me.
Indeed. 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 In other words, you are not holding this for others. They have choices. They are in control of their destiny. They are in control of their own choices. Letting go of the responsibility of others, letting go of holding the responsibility to make them happy. In other words, it is not your responsibility to make others happy, or to make others create new choices, or always looking out for other people and foregoing what it is that you choose. You see, you are doing a disservice to them by doing that. You are demonstrating to others how to be codependent. And what we mean by that is when you are looking out for others and you are choosing choices that may not be in your highest good or what you want to do, or perhaps always looking out for them first, there is a disservice that you are doing your own. And therefore, what we suggest you do is to be able to quiet your mind and say to yourself, the choices I'm making is for me. And because I'm making the choice for me, it is impacting all others in the highest and best for all concerned. That is always a good thing to say. I choose this for the highest and best for all concerned. And you cannot go wrong doing that.
Thank you.
You are on the right path, dear one. Especially when there is no safety net and there is no such thing as right or wrong.
I would like to ask for your guidance in this path of life. Over the years, I have created tremendous abundance and lost everything several times along the way.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And although I am now conscious about how I am creating and manifesting and co-creating, it feels as there's a missing piece in how to create abundance and financial stability for a change.
And how long does it need to last in order for you to feel like you are stable? How long does it need to last for you to feel like you have created what you wanted? You see, many of you get caught up in it has to last, and it has to last forever, or I have failed. And what we want you to know is there is no such thing as time in the non-physical, meaning that time is truly an illusion when you think about it. How long do you have to be successful in order for you to feel successful? How long do you have to be in the flow before you are understanding and believing that you are in the flow? You see, it is the roller coaster of life that creates the thrill of life. In other words, do you like to snow ski?
Yes.
When you go downhill, it is a thrill. When you are going flat and you are doing cross country, there is no up or down much, is there?
Yes.
And when do you feel the most alive?
Going downhill.
And you can always get back up. In other words, there is always a lift for you in your skiing adventures. There is a lift, and this lift is your belief. Your lift is your belief that you can get back up. Your lift is your belief that you are successful in every turn. In other words, when you are rising up and you are being lifted from the bottom of the hill, you are alive. You are seeing things from a new perspective. And when you get to the top of the hill, what do? You go down.
Again.
Again. And you do this again and again and again until you don't. And are you enjoying most of that ride? That is the question. When you are in joy, you can enjoy the ride. And many of you have heard the journey versus the destination concept. But it is perplexing sometimes because many of you want to know well, it has to be forever. I have to be successful forever. I have to have all of this now forever, nothing else. And if I lose anything, then I'm failed. And what we want you to know is it is the ride that creates the success. It is the ability to be able to know that there is a lift.
That's the key.
There is always a lift. All you have to do is sit your bum on the lift and let it raise you up to a new adventure. And enjoy the ride up and see the new perspective, because you learn, you are learning, you are creating, you are growing, you are making an impact. Whether you're going down or being lifted up, you create an impact. And again, going back to your purpose. So any of you, you can create success in your mind, and it can be for as long as it is. And now you have a story to tell. And now you have a journey to live. And many of you, again, want it to last. And it does. It lasts the entirety of your lifetime on this planet, that journey. And if you look at it again as the whole journey, not just when you are winning or feeling successful or feeling in love, all of those things, all in joy. If you look at everything from a perspective of, I'm going downhill and I'm on my way finding the lift, and I'm being lifted up again so that I can enjoy even more and something else. Or you would not be here. You would not be in this physical space if that is not what you are wanting to do. And many people are leaving this physical space to play again from the non-physical. There is an awakening happening. There is an evolvement of humankind. There is an evolvement of how you are going to respond to each other, and your languages will come from color, and you will be able to interpret this color. And it will be more from a state of unification. You are in the middle of this evolvement. And we understand sometimes it is difficult. It is difficult to understand the evolvement when you are, as this one talks about, letting go of your own trapeze bar to catch another one. Many of you want to hang on to both. And it splits you in two, does it not?
Yes.
That is not very pretty.
No.
Therefore, in order for you to catch the next trapeze bar, you have to let go of the one you're on. And yes, there is a possibility that you might fly for a moment. And what is wrong with that?
Nothing.
Indeed.
Any guidance as to when we don't find or see the lift?
Do you believe there is one there?
Yes.
Are you familiar with being able to have your faith be a belief? And what that means is you know it without seeing it?
Yes.
And how is that going for you?
Oh, trying to hold on to both bars and flying at the moment.
Well, you see, you cannot
Trusting the
fly.
fall.
You cannot fly if you're holding on to both bars.
Yeah. Well, trying to hold on to both bars.
Indeed.
And the truth is that I'm flying. I guess,
Indeed.
and
And you see, many of you do not want to let go until you see the bar, to know that it is there, to know that the lift is there.
Or
You
the
want to
net.
see it first. You want to know it. You want to smell it and touch it so that you know it is there, that the evidence is there. And then you know you will be safe. And so you let go of the bar at that moment. What if the bar appears when you let go?
Exactly.
That is the belief and the faith experience, dear one.
Thank
And
you.
if you are all being troubled about that, meaning you have perhaps lost faith, and this one talks about getting a faith lift. And how do you do that? In order to get a faith lift, you just have to let go. What's the worst thing that could happen? That you fall? You have evidence that if you fall, you can get back up. And if that's the worst thing that could happen, what is the best thing that could happen? You fly. And it materializes in front of you. It gets tricky sometimes, we understand. It gets tricky for that faith, especially when you have been disappointed in the past, especially when you have fear that it will not come again. We understand it gets tricky sometimes, and you sometimes just have to let go in order for you to see it and for it to come to you. Because why would anything else come to you if you already have something you're holding on to? If you're holding on to fear, or holding on to a job, or holding on to a relationship, or holding on to a business, or holding on to a purpose, and you say, this is mine, I don't like it, but it's mine, you will be left swinging there because nothing else will come to you because you have not opened the space for it to come. Again, this or something better. I choose this or something better. I choose this or something better. And always be on the lookout because it is coming. Your purpose, your belief, your wealth, your love, your relationships, it's coming to you. Always. All you have to do is grab it. Be prepared. Be a very good Boy Scout and Girl Scout. Be prepared. There's more?
Yes, I have a small, not so small, personal though, to me question, and then a larger. The personal one is there any way that I can get my sister and my niece to see who I really am and to understand who I am?
Do you understand who you are?
Yes, I do.
And the need for others close to you to see who you are. What is that? What is the need?
I don't know. It's very painful when they don't.
Therefore, what we always say is, if you are looking at something that is very painful, look the other way. In other words, if you know who you are, it is not necessary for them to understand who you are in order for you to be who you are. Is that true?
Yes.
Therefore, what would soothe your soul and your heart around this would be to say to yourself, I know who I am. I am demonstrating who I am and adding value in the world. And I know that they know who I am and love me no matter what. They just haven't found the lift yet. In other words, they have not seen that because it is something that is blocking them from seeing you. And it is not your job, or it is not something that you can do to make them see you. What you can do is ask yourself, why do I want them to see me? Why do I want them to know who I am? Am I missing something if they do not see me? Am I less than if they do not see me? Getting others' approval, or getting others' connection, or getting others' love is a need that many human beings get caught up in and forget about the fact that they already have all that they need in love and want in their own self. If you truly believe you are making a difference and you know who you are. And you do not need others' approval or others' love or others' connection in order for you to vibrate that and demonstrate that. Then that is the key here. And what we suggest you do is to demonstrate what it looks like to have unconditional love as much as you can for yourself, because that is what opens up the heart chakras no matter what you do. And as soon as you say, but I want them to see me, I want them to know me, I want them to be able to identify who I am, that is looking for approval. And they may or may not understand that. And they may or may not know how to give you approval. No matter what they say or do, it will not be enough for you if you do not feel enough. Therefore, the first step is for you to say to yourself, I demonstrate enough. I demonstrate love. I demonstrate to know that I am loved and I vibrate in that space no matter what. And I send unconditional love to all of those who may have not been able to experience that for themselves. That is your true purpose here. In other words, look at them and say, I send you unconditional love because you have not learned how to do that yet for yourself.
Wow. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you. Okay, I wrote it down. When doing energy work for or in the service of others and for the highest good of all, how important is it to be aware of the darkness or the shadow work? How important is it to protect my energy and those around me?
And again, what are you protecting them from?
Density, I guess.
Indeed. And the density, of course, is very strong. When you come into a body, this third dimension is very dense, is it not?
Yes.
And you cannot protect them from their own density, you see, because they are in their body and they have density as it is. What we want you to know about the shadow, perhaps, again, what we have said all along, is to embrace all of it. It is important to understand it from a third dimensional point of view, that there is shadow and that there is light. If they do not understand it, that doesn't mean that they will not be able to live their life. However, by looking at shadow, in other words, when you walk into a room and it is dark and you turn on the light, the cockroaches scatter, do they not?
Yes.
Therefore, how do you know there are cockroaches in there unless you turn the light on?
Oh, yes, I've had those experiences.
Yes. And so how important is it to know that there is darkness and there is light? You do not know the difference until you turn the light on. So once you turn the light on, once you shine your light and you are a beacon of light, once you turn that on, the shadow is there. It is not there unless you turn the light on. You see, it is all the same. And those cockroaches or those things that you do not want, they do scatter when the light is on. Do they not?
Yes. Yes.
And so it is up to you to say, I am shining my light. I am a beacon of light. I am a way shower. And I choose light. And of course, the darkness and the shadow comes from the light. In other words, you do not understand the difference or need to understand the difference in order for you to turn your own light on. And by doing so, again, you are demonstrating what light is. You are demonstrating what a beacon of light looks like. And through that demonstration, they will turn their own light on or not. But again, it is not up to you.
Okay. Yes, understood. Thank you.
Indeed. You are doing very well in this world, dear one.
Okay, we have time for one more.
Thank you for all your wonderful wisdom. My question is that when we were doing the meditation on Tuesday and connecting to our higher self, I got a message about my husband
Mm.
having a hidden illness, a hidden something, and that he would not be around for a while or for long. So could you expand on that for me?
And how does that feel on your heart?
Well, actually, I'm surprised that it's not really, really heavy. Of course, it makes me wonder, and I know that none of us will be here forever, but it alarms me in wanting to support him in the best way that I can.
Mm. And again, allow yourself to wonder instead of wander with it. And if tomorrow is your last day on this earth, or if tomorrow is his last day on this earth, what would you do differently?
I don't think I would do much different except expand love, unconditional love.
Indeed. And that is the message, dear one, not necessarily around anyone leaving at the moment. It is about expanding your own unconditional love and living each day as if it is your last. Would you do anything different? And if your answer is no, then kudos to you. And if your answer is yes, then we suggest you do something different. Because, again, it is not about life and death, it is a continuum. And for many of you, if you believe that there is no death, there is only transition, then we understand that many of you mourn the 3D world. But again, it is also an opportunity for you to experience that again, that it is all encompassing, that it continues, that there is no end. And if there is no end, and if there's no beginning, then what are you mourning? And the message that you are receiving right now is to continue to demonstrate your unconditional love and know that it is his choice. And there is nothing you can do to keep him here, and there is nothing you can do to let him go. All you can do is this present moment to express unconditional love and be in the moment.
Thank you.
All is well, dear one.
Thank you.
And what we want you to know is that all is well for all of you here. And if there is no beginning and no end, and if that is true, then be in the moment as much as possible so that you can be in joy and make a difference in the world. There is much love here for all of you. We are complete.